Number 5. Cookie Cutter Shark. The cookie cutter shark got its nickname from the strange habit it has of biting chunks of flesh out of its prey in a circular motion when it's trying to eat something that's bigger than itself. And that happens a lot because the cookie cutter shark isn't that big, only about 20 inches long, but really likes to chomp on whales and larger sharks and submarines, which are probably not very nutritious. While cutting into the flesh of its prey, the cookie cutter shark also latches on like a parasite, using its suction cup lips. Its small bioluminescent patch also helps it fool larger fish and sea mammals who have a tendency to think it's much smaller than it actually is, and not much of a threat. But that's because it's so dark down there. Number 4. Megamouth Shark. The megamouth shark couldn't have a more appropriate name. No, not because it can't stop talking or gossiping, but because its mouth is just really wide. That can be very useful when you're considered a filter feeder. That means that, like all filter feeders, the megamouth swims along with its mouth wide open and swallows everything in its path, especially jellyfish and plankton, its favorite dishes. The megamouth shark is relatively new to man since it was first spotted in 1976. It's very rarely seen and is thought to be rare because there have only been 41 confirmed sightings in the first 35 years after its discovery. Not much research has been done on the megamouth shark, but it's considered so different from its other fellow sharks that it's been set apart in its own family. But some Filipino fishermen did catch one in 1998 and apparently had a feast. No word on how Jamie Oliver or Gordon Ramsay would have served it up. Number 3. Saw Shark. You've heard of saw shark, right? Well, oddly enough, saw sharks are not related to sawfish, although they are in the fish family. Although sawfish don't actually cut anything with their long snouts, their teeth are very sharp. All 7 different known species of saw sharks lurk along the floor of the ocean and use their saws to whack their prey sideways to disorient and disable them. That's how they manage to get a hold of the squid, small fish, and crustaceans they eat. They certainly won't win any beauty contests, but they really look more dangerous than they actually are. Number 2. Frilled Shark. Because it moves in a very unshark-like way, more like a snake or an eel than like its shark brothers, the frilled shark is often thought of as a sea serpent, like those weird creatures we're not sure exist or not. Except the frilled shark isn't 20 feet long, it's only about 6 feet. But that incredible flexibility and that flare it does with its neck frills does make it really creepy. Sometimes the frilled shark is referred to as a living fossil because, contrary to most species, it hasn't changed much since prehistoric times. For a while, it was thought to be extinct because it hadn't been spotted for a long time, but then there were some sightings off the coast of Japan. That said, I wouldn't worry too much for your safety, because the frilled shark is rarely seen by humans and likes to hunt really deep at the bottom of the ocean. Number 1. Goblin Shark. The goblin shark is another deep-sea creature. Its most distinctive characteristic is the really strange shape of its head. It has a very long trow, or spatula-like shaped snout, that actually looks like a horn as it seems to be on the shark's head. But believe me, this shark is no unicorn. It's totally real. That kind of horn or snout is very useful because the shark uses the electrosensitive organs inside it to sense the presence of prey in the very dark waters in which it swims. Once the shark finds a prey, it pops out its jaw and uses its tongue-like muscle to suck the victim into its sharp front teeth. It also has very particular jaws that extend forward, like the alien in the Ridley Scott movie Alien. But actually, on some pictures, I find its mouth looks more like Grandpa Simpson. Is that just me? Another thing that makes it unique is the color of its skin, which is mostly pink. No, not Grandpa Simpson. If only that made him look friendlier. The shark, not Grandpa Simpson.